time for another double book review. I read 2 books, and I always seem to finish books at the same time this month. I don't know what's going on. But I read N.K. Jemisin short story collection, How Long Till Black Future Month. I loved this collection. Anytime there's like an anthology of short stories, I always am like, okay, you know, a few of the stories are going to be incredible, and then there's going to be some that are just kind of stuck in there. Literally every single one of these stories was incredible. They're imaginative, they're fun, they're thought-provoking, some are terrifying. There's some more like whimsical stories in here that were just an absolute delight, and I loved them so much. There's one story that's like a steampunk adventure, and it's sapphic, and it's so great. There's another one where it's like, there's this chef, and she's given a bunch of strange ingredients by this mysterious man, and like a weird recipe, and like, you know, he's teaching her how to like create magic through her cooking, and the descriptions of the food are so good. There's like cyberpunk stuff, there's urban fantasy, there's the one that's like high fantasy. It's so good. It's so good. Good mix of sci-fi and fantasy. I think there's like one story that's set in like the real world, but even that one is kind of quirky. So this was such a delightful collection. Would recommend. And then I finished reading Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Now, I have read this before, but I'm currently like reading all 3 books in the series, because before I read the first book, and then it was so long until the second book came out that I got distracted and just never continued it. So I'm rereading this to reread the series. I think my opinion of this is still about the same as the first time. I love the world building. The characters are great. It seems like it's a fairly decent sized book, but I've raced through this one really fast. I feel like everything that's in it is important to the plot, and it's a very lean plot, and the characterization is all good, but I did feel like I wanted to spend a little bit more time with the characters. There's a few moments where like big things happen, and then the plot just sort of races on, and I was kind of hoping that we would have some time for the characters to like talk about sort of what happened and work through what happened and everything, but I understand why she didn't. Like, this is not a rushed story. It's so good that I wanted this to be like a massive, you know, like a Wheel of Time book where it's like 800 pages just so you can spend time with the characters and the world more. But there's no filler. It's very, very well paced, and I'm really excited to jump into the second book.